Okay, so today I have Shannon Hurn from the West Coast Eagles with me. Thanks for being a legend and joining me today, Shannon.
Thanks, Joe. It's good to be a part of it.
Thanks. All right, so for those of you that don't know, for those people that don't know Shannon's background and story, Shannon, tell us a little bit about where you come from and how you got into sport.
Yeah, well, I come from a country town in South Australia, Angaston, in the Barossa Valley. We grew up on a farm there, so I'm sixth generation. So I think we're about 1890, I think, started farming. So it's been pretty good history. And I grew up there. I did all my schooling locally, primary school and high school as well. And I probably started playing sport. Well, Dad played football and Granddad played cricket. So ever since I can remember, in the backyard, we're always kicking the footy or playing cricket. So that probably would have been from about 3 or 4 years of age. I can remember doing that. But I probably my first competitive, I suppose we didn't have Auskick or any of the Milo have a go cricket, but we started about 7 years of age, so about year 3. I reckon it would have been primary school. Yeah. So that was pretty good.
So you had to make a choice between, you're a pretty good cricketer from what I hear, and you had to make a choice between footy and cricket. Is that correct?
Well, yes. I love playing cricket, love playing footy. So cricket in the summer, football in the winter. I probably got to year 11, end of year 11, start of year 12. I probably had to start, I suppose, picking a path I really wanted to go down. I was really fortunate enough with the clubs I was at, Central Districts with the football and Northern Districts with the cricket. They allowed me to do both, not just say you have to do one or the other. So yeah, probably year 12, I had to pick I suppose, a sport that I thought I could succeed at. And I just felt that football was a bit closer. Cricket, I probably still 3, 4, 5 years away from having a proper technique, understanding it well enough to be successful. I just felt football was just a bit more natural to me.
What made you get picked up and brought to West Australia? What do you think it was about your game at an early age that got you playing NFL?
Well, it depends on who you want to ask. But one of the things I always believed what sport was always about skill based. And I know sometimes we have discussion about athletes v sports people. I always view sports as a skill based activity. So I was pretty fortunate enough from a young age. I was always out in the backyard training, kicking the footy, hitting cricket balls, golf, different type of sports. So no different than all the younger people these days and teenagers. Always just getting outside, making sure you're just doing something, had a ball in your hand. So I probably felt the thing that people probably would have liked in my game was the skill side of things. Fitness wasn't a natural thing for me. I had to work on that. Probably an understanding about the game and just a skill set at a younger level, younger age.
Yeah. And you and I've talked about that, as you say, a fair bit in terms of skills and coaching and all of those kind of things. You know, my background is sports psychology. How have you used sports psychology, or should I actually ask the question, do you think sports psychology is valuable in addition to the skills and the fitness?
Well, great questions, all of them. I certainly think psychology is a major part in sport. Yes, everyone talks about the physical capabilities, running, how high you can jump, how far you can throw something. But I do think your mindset is really important. So that can be from anything from how you prepare about a game, how you view a game, how you view yourself, what type of talk do you have to yourself? Is it positive? Is it negative? How you review things. And I suppose just being open as well. I know certainly when you're younger, and when I was younger, you probably when you're younger or early teenagers, you're probably overconfident. You know everything. You don't listen. And then you probably get to 19. I got to 19, 20, 21, and it's like, I don't know anything. Am I good enough? Can I do this? So I found from my early 20s being able to have the psychology in sport, just about to talk to someone about it, what I'm going through, some struggles, nervousness, anxiety, I do think that helped me, I suppose, be confident in myself, and then had a better, I just felt confident how I could be a part of sport, and I had some tools to be able to play.
Yeah. And you've been with the Eagles for a long time. And until recently, till this season, you have been captain for a number of years. Was that something you had your eye on for a long time? Was that something in the dream or the wish list? Tell us about that.
Yeah. Yep. So I was 2015 was my first year as captain till last year, 2019. So 5 years. I early days, not so much. I think a bit of a progression of just, I think, sport or team sport or football is, individually you just want to get a game, and then it's, I just want to play well, and then I think you progress to, I don't care how I go, I just want to win. So I probably think it's probably about 23 to 25 was, what I wanted to be able to win. I was lucky enough, I was probably more often picked each week, so that made it a bit easier just to focus on the team aspect. So probably from about 24, 25, not so much I wanted to be captain, but I wanted to be able to have a bit of an input or influence about what we were doing as a team or as a group. And I suppose captaincy, probably 2015 I was captain, so probably about, Darren Glass was our previous captain, but probably about 2013, 2014, I was in the senior leadership group, and probably about then I really thought, whether I was captain or not wouldn't have mattered, but I really wanted to have an input about what we were trying to do as a group and as a team.
So given that leadership has been in your game for a long time, even prior to being captain, what are the key characteristics, do you think, or the important characteristics to be a good leader?
Yeah, well, there's numerous, but it's each one to themselves individually. I know we talk about that, but I think certainly, I know everyone says, you got to be true to yourself. I think it's you being you, not I want to be, Darren Glass was our previous leader, so it's not, I want to be like Darren Glass, or Luke Shuey's our current, I don't want to be like Shannon Hurn. You got to learn and be open to different things, and that takes time to get more comfortable in yourself, but you've got to be you and what you stand for. That's what you get elected or voted in for, or to be captain. So being yourself and being comfortable. I think you have to be open to learning different things. Your way is not always the right way. You've got to help others and give time. But I think the other thing is just providing and being a good example. Every person, doesn't matter where you are, you're not perfect, but you want to try to just set a good example. So that's just how you train. I want to say caring for everyone, taking interest in people. That doesn't matter if it's business or sport or whatever. Just how you're going, how you're going defending, how you're going attacking, how you're going off the field, how your parents going, how your friends going. So in a nutshell, I think just lead by example. You've got to be open and be able to talk to everyone, and then also just be comfortable in yourself and how you go about it, and that takes time.
Yeah. Without giving away any secrets, what's the most challenging thing about being in a leadership role when you're leading a team?
Yeah, good question. Again, I think early on, one of the challenges I faced is I was trying to do everything. So I thought I had to be a part of everything, had to know everything, had to have an answer to everything. And you learn very quickly that you don't and you can't be that. So you've got to be able to trust in some in your other leaders or vice captains. I was lucky enough to have Josh Kennedy. He was fantastic for me. Matty Prittis, Luke Shuey as well.
Yeah.
So that was one of the challenges early on. And I think the thing is, no one wants to be, I don't want to say it's not a bad person, but everyone wants to be liked and do the right thing. So sometimes, unfortunately, as a captain, you've got to make the unpopular decision or have some different not different conversations, but some harder conversations about either players not doing what they're meant to be doing, you might have to reprimand them in some sort of way. So certainly early on, that's a bit daunting first up, especially when they're your friends as well. So that's two challenges.
Yeah, and I guess that's part of the role. A lot of people don't understand that leadership is often a really difficult and challenging role, as well as standing up, leading the club, being in the media, all of those kind of things. That's the hard side of it. All right, changing direction a little bit here. COVID-19, it means particularly for you, because you're in season technically. How have you been staying motivated, given that you can't go train with teammates? Basically, it's done from home. You might be able to go for a run, but how are you staying motivated?
Yeah, well, we're fortunate enough we can train in pairs, but again, when I was younger, the motivation would have been really hard. So training as a group was always easier. Being able to just have that discipline or that drive to I have to get up and do some running, do some weights, go to swim, do some skills. Certainly would have been hard when I was younger. And again, I think, we talk about all this stuff. It does take some time and experience. But now I just enjoy trying to be, people talk about being the best version of yourself, but trying to stay as fit as I can. And that's not being over the top with, I'm going to go run every day and I'm going to do weights every day. There's still a balance with it. But my motivation is basically just to be ready for when hopefully we can come back and get to train together, but also play. So we've got a fitness program in place, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then it's either a bike or a swim on a Tuesday or a Thursday, plus our skills. So motivation for me is just trying to, just be best prepared I can for when I go back to when we can train. I think and the hard thing is, again, when you're younger, is when you train in a group, you can get all the eyes are on you. So if you're slacking off, everyone knows you're slacking off. When you're training individually and no one's watching, well, no one really knows if you had to do like 10 push-ups, you did 5. No one knows. It's just
no one knows.
So, so for me, it's just over the years, just that discipline of trying to do everything you can just to be the best version of yourself. That's what it is.
Good tip. What are you missing most in isolation?
To be able to travel to the country a little bit. But I think one of the things is going and being able to train with teammates is something that you miss, because you do take that for granted. Now you've got to get up. As I did say, you've got to be disciplined yourself, but it is certainly much more enjoyable going to train with your teammates now. I know sometimes there's individual sports with swimmers or runners, and that is hard. Yes, you do train as a group sometimes, but that's probably the thing that I miss. You'll be able to have your interactions and socialising with your teammates and people at the club.
Yeah. All right. So tips for young footballers out there on staying motivated and staying fit. What is it about right now for them? Because they've got Netflix. They don't necessarily want to get off the couch. How do they understand that this is the time that's going to make a difference when sports comes back? What's your advice?
Well, need to have people talk about having some sort of structure or plan or a daily itinerary. So one of the things is you still can watch a bit of that. Obviously, you've got school as well, but I would say in there somewhere, and especially the earlier, the better, is in the day. Sorry, not later in the day. Is you want to try to make sure you get up and go for a run if you can. If you got some home weights, do some home weights. But even then, you can do push-ups, some chin-ups, or I don't know, grab a pot outside that's 20 kilos and hold on to that and do some squats. So you can do something like that. And then, if you're fortunate enough to have siblings or your parents are at home, or you've got a friend somewhere, just to go and kick the footy. But one of the things I think is as much as you can, put aside a time in the day, and preferably earlier, get it done, and then later on in the day, if you want to have 2 hours of, I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to watch some Netflix or play some PlayStation, that's fine. But making sure you put aside somewhere in the day to just to get outside. Again, when you're younger, you like to stay inside, watch movies, play PlayStation, but you got to get outside and do moving and get around, just for general well-being. Everyone wants to talk about well-being, but it certainly helps getting outside and being active.
Yeah, great tips. Small things every day and getting the balance right. Shannon, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and fingers crossed for a start for footy soon and we can see you back out there. Stay well.
That'd be great. Thanks, Jodes. Cheers.
See ya.